Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to see you all here, to have everyone here for restorative yoga today. My name is Kate. I'll be your guide through today's class. We are focusing all on the sacral chakra today. So, orange is going to be part of the theme. So, if you would like to grab anything orange nearby, just to kind of remind you, or if you have something orange in your room kind of nearby, if you want to kind of bring it close by, I always find it helpful to have color reminders around me just so I can stay within my intent. As far as props, you will need pillows and blankets. One or two of each will be just fine. But if you have a ton nearby, get nice and cozy. I know it's still pretty chilly where a lot of us are right now this time of year. So if you need to get a little extra warmth in for today, definitely grab that now. All right. And we are going to begin today laying down on our backs. If you have a blanket, lay on top of it so that you have padding from your shoulders all the way down to your hips. And if your neck or head are feeling like they need a little bit of support, have a pillow underneath that. And once you're down, close your eyes. And place your hands on top of your hip bones, your frontal hip bones. If your low back is talking to you today, rather than having your legs out long, walk your feet in, bring them a little wider than your hips, and allow the knees to knock and rest against each other. Now, if you're still just settling in, try and find, with your eyes open, that object that is orange in your room. And have your eyes just gaze upon it for a few moments. Take 2 to 3 rounds of your normal rate of breath. And I want you to gauge how far down into your body your breath goes. When you inhale, does it land in your chest, your belly, or maybe your hips? Notice this initial landing spot without assigning any judgment. This is neither good nor bad, right or wrong. It's just your landing spot, your starting point of your practice. Your eyes are still open, now close them. And start to deepen your breath. Breathing in through the nose. Exhale out of your mouth. Drink in your next inhale through your nose. See how far you can fill up. And exhale everything out of your mouth with a sigh. Inhale through the nose. Picture breathing in orange light. And as you exhale, imagine any stuck or stagnant energy leaving. Continue to breathe in through your nose and out of your mouth for 5 more times. Every exhale carries with it tension or maybe a nagging thought. And with your inhale, breathing in that orange light. Imagine that light filling whatever space that just opened up, making it glow bright. Take one more inhale through the nose, exhale out of your mouth. And keep your lips sealed gently. And continue to breathe just as completely in and out through your nose. If your legs are out long on the floor, start to walk your heels in towards your glutes or towards your bum. And then have your feet about hip distance wide. Hands remain on top of your hips. Our first breath work is belly breath. Start by inhaling into the belly. As it balloons out into space, your low back will lift slightly off your floor. As you exhale, actively pull the belly button to spine, feeling your low back gluing itself to the floor. Inhale into your belly. As your low back lifts, your pelvic bowl tilts forward slightly. Exhale, belly button pulls down to help tuck the tailbone under. Inhale, tilt pelvis forward. And exhale. Feel the pelvic bowl tuck underneath. Keep going with this as you hear your intent for today's class. As you start to rock the center of your creativity, the sacral chakra, the area below your belly button and more the pelvic bowl area in general. This is where your right to feel gets cultivated, where your emotions live. In your sacral chakra, you determine what brings you pleasure, what brings you joy. Begin to unlock that pleasurable feeling as you do 3 more belly breaths with your pelvic tilts. When you're done, bring your pelvis back to a neutral position. If you have a pillow behind your head, remove it and put it in between your thighs. If you have an extra prop somewhere, or you have like a blanket that you want to put in between your thighs, do that for our second breathwork exercise. In Sanskrit, this breathwork is called Mula Bandha. But basically, it's just that belly breath, but adding in some Kegels. So activating the pelvic floor, the very nucleus, the center of our sacral chakra. Take a breath into your belly, just like we did earlier. As you exhale, pull the belly button down, squeeze the prop with your inner thighs so much that you feel the space in between your thighs, your upper thighs, your pelvic floor lifting up. As you inhale, relax the inner legs. Exhale, squeeze your thighs, engage the pelvic floor, pull it in and up. Inhale, relax the inner thighs. Exhale, squeeze and engage your pelvic floor, almost like you're trying to stop a pee. 3 more, just like that. Inhale, balloon your belly out. Exhale, squeeze, engage the pelvic floor. Inhale, relax, tilt the pelvis forward. Exhale, squeeze. Final round of Mula Bandha. Inhale. Unlock your pelvic floor. Exhale, engage it. Inhale. Remove your prop from in between your thighs. Move it out of the way, but stay on your back. Place your arms down by your side and keep your feet underneath your knees. For our mild abdominal exercises today, take a breath in, then hold your breath on full. As you hold, bring your left leg up at a 90-degree angle, knee stays over hip. Now exhale, pull belly button towards the spine. Inhale, set your left foot down. Pause your breath when full. Take your right foot up off the floor. Exhale, pull belly button to spine. Inhale, lower right foot to the floor. Hold your breath when full, but not forced. On hold, the left foot lifts. Curl the toes back towards your shin. Exhale, push your low back into the mat as your belly button pulls down. Inhale, set left foot down. Hold your breath at the top. On hold, pick your right foot up off the floor. Exhale, pull your belly button towards the spine, low back pushes into the mat. 1 more on each side. Inhale, lower, right foot down. Hold your breath. On hold, left foot lifts. Exhale, pull your belly button or pull belly button down as your tailbone curls up. Inhale, gently set the left foot on the mat. Hold your breath. On hold, right leg lifts. Exhale, push your low back into the mat. Pull belly button down. Inhale, set your right foot onto the floor. And exhale, bring the bottoms of your feet together. Let your knees fall open wide into a butterfly position. If that feels like it's too much on your low back, then allow the heels to scooch forward. So you have a slightly wider diamond than before. Close your eyes. Check in with your deep breathing. As you take a few breaths here, inviting in that orange light. Notice where your breath lands now. Maybe you can even get your next inhale all the way down into your sacral chakra in the pelvic area. Use your hands on the outer side of your thighs to help close your legs together like a book. Roll over to one side into the fetal position. And slowly pick yourself up to a seated position. First, make your way towards some wall space. If you don't have wall space, just lean up against a piece of furniture like a couch or a chair, anything that will just help support your back. Bring your feet, or rather your legs, into that butterfly position again where the palms of the feet are together, knees are wide. If your knees don't go all the way down, well, they don't ever all go all the way down for some of us, me especially. But if it feels like it's too much in the hips, like they're starting to kind of yell at you, again, have the heels a little further away from your pelvis. This will help loosen up the outer leg line. Another option is to place a bolster or a pillow or some sort of support underneath your thighs and knees. All right. From here, place one hand on the floor. Opposite hand goes into your inner hip crease. Have your fingers pointing towards the knee. On your next inhale, straighten your arm of the hand that's on your thigh. As you exhale, twist towards the hand that's on the floor and relax your head down. Breathe in a way that feels good into your inner thigh, inner hip area. If you're not sure what a good feeling breath feels like, start to get creative. Call upon the power of your sacral chakra. Maybe just by changing your breath pattern, you can get a little more pleasure out of this pose. Two more breaths here. Slowly release your palm from the inner thigh. Bring your torso back up to center. And then come on up and over to the other side. Soles of the feet are together. If you need to readjust your feet, do so now. And with your fingers pointing towards your knee, inhale, straighten the arm. Exhale, twist towards your thigh and relax your head down. Relax your jaw. And see if even that can spark a little bit more bliss into your breath. Two more breaths. Slowly release from the shape. Hands come to the outer knees to help close your legs together. Straighten your feet in front of you, and then kind of like quick windshield wipers. Shimmy your toes side to side. Try and keep your knees and hips relaxed though. Just let the muscles roll over the bones for a moment. Finish up with that. Grab onto your pillow. Scooch away from the wall or whatever piece of furniture you had behind you. Ooh, sorry. Dog hair in my eye. Ugh. There you go. Can't get away from them, huh? Bonnie, I'm sure it's the same with your kitty sometimes. All right. We're going to move into our restorative section next. So if you need some extra props like a blanket to keep you warm as we hold these poses for a little longer, that'd be an awesome idea to get that right now. Because we hold these poses for a little longer, our heart rate goes down a little bit. Also, our blood flow starts to slow down a tiny bit, so it gets us just a little bit more on the chilly side. So extra blankets are always helpful here. Start by sitting on your left hip and have your left leg bent in front of you and your right leg is bent somewhere behind you. If you have your blanket, I recommend folding it up just a little bit so that you have a little bit of weightedness to it, and then drape it over your right hip just so that you get a little bit more, again, weight there to help encourage it down to the floor. Your pillow snuggled up to your left hip. As you turn towards your pillow, have it go long ways away from your hip. As you turn towards your pillow, walk your hands forward and lower your chest down. You can have as many pillows as you would like here to bring the floor closer to you. Option to rest your forehead on your stacked hands. Another option is to turn your gaze over your left shoulder. We'll be here for a bit, so you might need to readjust your head throughout this pose, but just choose one now. Close your eyes once you've settled in. And imagine breathing in that orange light. See if you can spread it down all the way along the right side of your abdomen or belly. With each additional breath, see if you can get it further and further down, injecting it into the hip, maybe even wrapping it around to the right glute, softening it a bit more. Your hips and shoulders are feeling particularly stuck today. Or if it's one of those days where you just can't get your mind to settle down, it's okay, it happens. When I have those days, I like to add extra baby movements or little movements to my shapes. Here, I tilt and tuck my pelvis slightly. Very little movements, but similar to what we did at the beginning. Know that you have choices. You can always choose to change. You can always choose to change whatever doesn't feel good to something more pleasurable. And so doing, honoring your sacral chakra. Be here for about another 10 more breaths. Your head is turned to either side. Bring your forehead straight down. Walk your hands back towards your hips. Turn the other direction. Or you can just flip around, however you want to get there. Setting up for a second round, second side. This time our legs are in that pinwheel shape, but with the right leg forward, left knee behind. Blanket on top of left hip. Turn towards your long pillow, towards the right. Come on down. Once you're down, close your eyes. Experience all the newness that you feel here. It might feel completely different to your first sight, and that's okay. Your body is complex. And each side, left and right, have different needs, different wants. So be open to hearing what this side needs from you. Use your deep breathing to ignite the creativity in the left side of your pelvis. Begin to unlock a whole new realm. begin to unlock your right to feel, especially your right to feel pleasure. 10 more breaths on this side. 10 more opportunities to get creative. Final breath in the shape. Hands crawl back towards your hips. Picking yourself up off your pillow. Move your pillow out of the way. Keep it nearby for later, but just out of the way for now. Take your blanket. Put it in. And roll it up, or rather, fold it up. So you have almost like a thick, long noodle. So a little bit of padding, but not too much thickness, so you can lay on top of it, belly down. Place it on the floor. Come into a prone position on your belly. Aim to get your blanket underneath your frontal hip bones, so the ones that stick out in front of your pelvis. Option 1, place your hands flat underneath your forehead. Option number 2, stack your hands on top of one another and rest your forehead onto that. From here, pick your feet up off the floor until they're just above your knees. And begin to windshield wiper the knees side to side. Try and keep your pelvis on the floor so your feet won't go as far to either side. Just start to slowly scrub out your hip sockets. Do one more to the left, one more to the right. Float the feet back through the center, and then set your feet down. Now I'm going to rephrase one thing. If you had your hands, or actually, no, never mind. Let me ignore that one. had a thought, then it flew out. All right, from this position, we're going to go back to those pelvic tilts, just like we did on our backs towards the beginning of class, but we're doing them on our bellies now. Same exact action as you inhale into your belly. Feel your belly ballooning into the floor, tilting your pelvis slightly forward so your tailbone sticks up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, reach that tailbone, the bottom of your spine, towards the heels, lengthening through the low back. Inhale, breathe into your belly. Pelvic bowl tilts forward. Exhale. Push your pubic bone into the ground as your tailbone reaches toward your heels. Inhale, tilt pelvis forward. And exhale, reach the tailbone back. 4 more like this. Now on your final 5 rounds of breath here, I want you to get a little creative with your hips. Maybe rock them side to side. Maybe squeeze one glute muscle then the other, kind of doing a slow motion torque. Get creative with what makes this area, your sacral chakra area, feel good. Play around for 4 more rounds. Bring your pelvis back through to center. Plant hands underneath your shoulders. Push up onto your knees, or however you want to get there. And unfold your blanket. We're going to redo that fold so that it's a little bit thicker now. Okay. And that is going to be the padding for your back. We're moving into our final pose for Shavasana, our corpse pose. So this will be our last shape of the class. Just make sure you have all your creature comforts around if you need a sip of water or an extra blanket. Excuse me. Your pillow or bolster will go just in front of your folded blanket. And then I want you to sit on top of it. This pose is called either a supported bridge. I've also heard it called psoas release. There's a lot of different names for it. But basically, you want to get the very back of your pelvis to stay on top of your elevated bolster or pillow. So to do that, I found the easiest way is from that seated position on the pillow, lay on my side, and then roll over onto my back. With my feet, I can kind of scooch my pelvis to the very center of my pillow, so I'm nice and stable. Feet can either be planted or legs out long, whatever feels best here. Same thing with the arms. Either up in a goalpost position, or hands by side in a T, one hand on heart, one hand on belly, on hips. So many choices. You can get really creative with it. It does not have to match side to side even. Once you found that ideal position, close your eyes. And begin to steady your breath. Let your breath drift back to its natural, organic rhythm. even at your natural rate, your inhales are still drawing in that orange light. That light travels down all the way through your body to your pelvic bowl and hip area. Everything that orange light touches glows. Like bright, fiery flames. Let your breath continue to fuel that fire. To ignite your creative self. Warm glow comforts you, brings you joy. Cede your right to feel. And fall into rest. Your final pose, Shavasana. Begin to invite the awareness back in. Take some deep breaths to refresh your spirit. Stretch the arms and the legs in any direction that would feel good to reawaken the physical body. From here, roll to your side in the fetal position. And begin to pick yourself up to a seat. Once you're upright, bring your hands to heart center and bow your chin down in honor of your practice. Take a breath in for gratitude. Gratitude for your sacral chakra, for your creative side, your emotional side. It's important to acknowledge and celebrate these different parts of us, no matter how big or small they play a part in our lives. Continue to honor this sacral chakra by being creative throughout the rest of this month and finding ways that bring pleasure and bliss to your life. Thank you for joining me this evening. Namaste.